El Dorado, Winters to Placerville, more than 3 million people without power today.
Store shelves empty, gas stations closed, and businesses shut down.
All because of the dangerous weather putting us at the highest risk of wildfire. Live team coverage from across Northern California begins right now.
You are watching the ABC 10 News at 5. I'm Chris Thomas.
And I'm Madison Wade. We have every angle covered of this historic, unprecedented power shutoffs with PG&E. But first, this is breaking right now. Take a look at your screen. A 3-alarm wildfire just broke out within the last hour in Rio Vista. This is at Highway 12 near 113. And this is a view of the smoke column from the fire. We also have a crew on the way to this fire right now to check on it. State Route 12 and Olson Road are both closed, and we do not know when they will be open again, but we will take you there live in just a few minutes.
And we have live team coverage of the power shutoffs. Lena Howland is in Vacaville because they're facing shortages tonight. Kurt Rivera is in Winters. Daniela Pardo is heading to the fire in Rio Vista. Mady Gomez is in Placerville talking to the city manager. And Kevin John is in El Dorado County tracking some major traffic issues in Cameron Park.
But first now to an update on the power outages. PG&E shut off power to more than 500,000 customers at midnight, and round 2 of the shutoffs, which were supposed to happen at noon today, are now delayed due to weather conditions. There is a lot to unpack with all of this, so let's head over to Mike Duffy now with what we need to know so far about these shutoffs and who it's all affecting. Mike?
All right, Madison. So many of us have been asking how many people and what areas are most affected. Well, over 280,000 people in just our 16-county area are without power tonight. And the counties in the Sierra foothills are seeing the most impact. So let's take a look now at a map of these areas that are affected. First, I want to draw your attention right here to the blue band on the right side of your screen. This is the area of most concern to us, right? It really starts with Butte County near Chico and runs south all along the Sierra foothills through Plumas, Sierra, Nevada, Placer, El Dorado, Amador, Calaveras, and Tuolumne counties. The counties most affected are Nevada, Placer, and El Dorado, who each have over 40,000 people without power. Also, take a look at the left side of your screen. If we can just pan over a little bit, the area includes Colusa, Yolo, and especially Solano, which itself has over 32,000 customers without power. It's a massive area covering just about every county in Northern California. So we also wanted to let you know that some people in Stockton had been told earlier by PG&E that their power would be shut off. But according to the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office, this is not the case. Some good news for people out there, but clearly a lot of people are affected throughout the area.
All right, and picking it up with the weather, peak wind gusts today, 30 to almost 35 miles per hour in the valley. We're talking dry winds. Fairfield, only 9% humidity. These are dry and very hazardous winds. You can see currently about 20 to 25 miles per hour through the valley, but it all picks up for tonight. As you can see, we're talking about 65 mile per hour winds towards the North Bay Hills, 40 mile per hour winds for parts of the Sierra foothills. In general, all of us will be feeling the effects for tonight with those winds. It starts to back off late in the day for tomorrow. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to get the power on right away. We're going to have to continue to see how PG&E assesses those lines. Red flag warning in effect through tomorrow evening. We're going to have gusty winds, low humidity, and again, be ready to evacuate. In addition to that, the wind advisory also in place. Highest over the exposed ridges, as we just showed you, North Bay Hills and the Sierra foothills, with the potential for rapid fire spread. I'm going to show you where the most dangerous areas are going to be for fire.
And Monica, Placerville is one of the cities impacted. Mady Gomez is there. Mady, describe what you are seeing. And we understand you're actually talking to a city official. Bring us up to speed.
It's been an eerie sight to see, almost apocalyptic. Everywhere you look, the power is shut off. The gas station and most of the shops here on Main Street in the Old Town are closed. And like you said, I want to bring in Cleve Morris. He's with the city manager of, he's a city manager of Placerville.
We are obviously having some technical difficulties there with Mady. Understand that these are areas where they have very little cell reception, and so we are working to try and get you the very latest information there as soon as we can. We'll go back out to Mady, but let's hand it over to Madison now.
All right, Chris, thank you. And as you can imagine, the power outage is also affecting school closures. Many schools were closed today. In fact, we have a full list on our website for you at abc10.com. These schools are having no classes at Folsom Lake Community Colleges and Placerville's campus. However, the college's main campus and the Rancho Cordova campus will remain open. The Esparto Unified School Districts have already announced that they won't be in session tomorrow. Many schools are saying they won't make an official decision until later tonight. But for the latest up-to-date information, you can head to our website, abc10.com.
I'm Carlos Herrera in Auburn, where tens of thousands of people are without power today. It was shut off by PG&E at midnight. It's causing all sorts of trouble for people who live here. Traffic on Highway 49 was at gridlock during the morning commute, making it a nightmare to get in and out of the city. All gas stations in the city are also closed, forcing commuters to drive 15 miles to Rockland to find the nearest open gas station. Definitely an inconvenience, since more than half of the people who live here commute at least 20 miles to go to work.
I'm not even aware how far down the hill do you got to go to get power? How far down in the hill do you got to go to get signal and make a phone call? It's pretty confusing, and we didn't get any warning. The first I heard about this was yesterday.
It's kind of a bummer because there is no gas stations open right now, so it's really an issue right now.
I'm kind of worried about food in the house because we got the kids. It's just the first of the month, got our budget done for food and try to figure something out. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded as long as we've gotten more notice. A day notice is just not enough.
Business owners.
And with these power shutoffs underway, the Gas Buddy app is activating its fuel availability tracker in Northern California. This helps drivers find gas stations that have electricity and fuel. And this app differentiates which stations are without one or the other or both.
Let's go now to Vacaville. Many people there lost their power after midnight. ABC 10's Lena Howland has been there all day. And Lena, what are you seeing at some of the grocery stores in that area?
Well, there are a number of grocery stores up here in the Vacaville area that have been forced to shut down because of these power shutoffs. But at the stores that are still open, like this Walmart right behind us here, we've been seeing a revolving door of people coming in and out, stocking up on those essentials. You know, sadly, many of which left empty-handed when this store started to run out of things like water and ice. So people came to stock up on any of the other non-perishables that they did have, not knowing exactly when their power will come back on. We spoke with one family who lost power just after midnight last night, and without anywhere else to charge their phones, cook dinner, and take showers in the light, they stopped here to grab a few things before checking in at a nearby hotel.
So power went out last night a little bit after midnight and was out all night. So really dark in our house, really difficult to just do day-to-day functions. So we decided we were gonna stock up on some goodies and go to a hotel.
Very good to hear those positive spirits out here today. Not hearing too many of those, but a few here and there. And we are back out here live at that very Walmart, and we are continuing to see more people coming in and out of these doors, stocking up with cartfuls of things right now just before the sun goes down tonight, guys.
I tell you, the sobering thing, Lena, is that we are just getting started with this event, and they are forecasting as many as 2 to 5 days that people could be in the dark. And to see stores already out of items, this could be quite the event. Lena, we thank you for that live update.
And coming up, California politicians are reacting to the shutoffs here, but they also have connections to PG&E. We're explaining.
And store shelves clearing out fast as people try and prepare to go days without power.
Get up-to-the-minute information during the largest planned power outage in state history, affecting 800,000 customers in more than 30 counties. Be the first to know breaking updates and alerts delivered straight to your phone. Download the ABC
Welcome back. I am here with our Brandon Ridham. And now, you know, Brandon, California politicians, they are getting an earful today about these shutoffs from the voters. And some are trying to direct that anger at PG&E. Brandon Ridham investigated all things politics in PG&E for our series, Fire, Power, Money. A lot of folks are still talking about that. And Brandon, some of these politicians bashing PG&E now, they were all too happy to cash PG&E's donation checks.
Yeah, throw a rock, you'll hit a politician who got a donation check from PG&E in this town. Yeah, PG&E spends millions influencing our politics here in California. Donated more than $4 million just to state-level campaigns in California last election. More than 80% of the state legislature took PG&E money towards their campaigns, just to give you an idea of how widespread we're talking. That's come to a halt since our reporting raised questions about those donations and got the attention of the federal judge that oversees PG&E's probation sentence. The company itself is a convicted federal felon still serving time on probation. And right now, we're dealing with power outages in California because the company simply can't be trusted to keep its power grid safe.
That's what it boils down to, right?
During high wind. Yeah, if the grid was safe and couldn't handle the wind, we'd be able to have power right now. So it does deserve to have people angry at it, PG&E does, and the governor obliged. Quote, people should be outraged. They should be infuriated, Governor Gavin Newsom was quoted as saying this week. It's not how things should work in the industry. None of us are happy about this. And yet, PG&E donated more than $208,000 to help elect Gavin Newsom last year. As part of our reporting, we did ask him this summer if he stands by taking the money, whether he'd give it back. The governor refused to answer either of those questions. But don't get me wrong, this is not just a Democrat thing. Here we've got Doug LaMalfa, Republican congressman. It seems as if California, which fancies itself as one of the top world economies, is becoming a third world country. Expecting the power to stay on when the wind blows isn't that giant of a leap for mankind. And yet, the company that can't seem to get that right gave LaMalfa $13,000 in donations from its federal PAC since the last election cycle. And here's the rub. LaMalfa represents Paradise in Congress, but he took $5,000 of those dollars from PG&E's PAC after last year's Camp Fire killed 85 people there. And it wasn't just him. Jim Nielsen represents Paradise in the state Senate here in Sacramento. He's got a headline on his official site blasting PG&E's shutoff as unacceptable. What he can and did accept was a $6,400 donation from PG&E towards his campaign last year. We asked him if he'd give it back. His office never responded to us. Neither did the state's two major political parties, Republicans and Democrats. Each state party organization gladly accepted more than $500,000 from PG&E last election cycle as well, both of which have elected officials, as you know, acting shocked right now that PG&E's grid is such a mess that we can't trust it not to burn us down. The point is, for all the wailing and gnashing of teeth about PG&E from the people in power, PG&E makes a pretty good point of protecting its monopoly by pumping a lot of money into our politics.
Obviously.
And when the federal judge asked PG&E why the political spending was more important than fixing its power grid, the company said it wasn't, but it said it spends that money to make sure its interests are, quote, adequately represented in the halls of power. On this day when millions of us in California may literally be powerless, we just thought it'd be good for you to know.
And this is what we call going beyond the headlines. You know, we have seen the headlines of millions of folks without power. We have seen that everybody now wants to come out and talk about how angry they are about it. But then when you look at the numbers there, when you show Democrats and Republicans the money that they've accepted from this very company to continue business as usual, it is eye-opening to say the least.
It's one part of a systemic problem, and a lot of people are pointing to their favorite cause. Some people are saying, oh, this is an example of the climate crisis. Look, there's a landscape crisis. The climate plays a role. Business and politics play a role. But at the end of the day, we need a power grid we can trust not to burn places down when the wind blows, because the wind is going to blow.
With that, let's get out to Monica in the backyard. Monica, how are conditions now?
Well, I'm in a very sheltered area right now, so you're not going to see a whole lot blowing around in the Gilmore backyard. I will say there's a lot of debris out here. I want to get right to the most specific wind dangers, and that's going to happen overnight tonight. 65-mile-per-hour plus winds in the North Bay Hills, in the foothills, 40 to 50-mile-per-hour winds. That doesn't even account for some of the gusts that we'll see. And here's the setup. Low pressure system moving just down to the south of us. High pressure to the north. Those offshore winds develop gusts gusts 50 to 65 miles per hour. Fire danger high. We're talking about Diablo and Santa Ana winds. This is an explosive fire growth situation with winds accelerating through the hills. Here's the highest fire danger. Extreme right now near the Redding area. That migrates south towards the North Bay Hills, the west side of the valley. And then as we head through the day, it stays mostly in Northern California. It then becomes a Southern California event. This is going to be a statewide situation we're going to be watching through at least Friday.
And we just found out PG&E will be holding a news conference at 6 o'clock tonight. And of course, we will take you there live. And coming up next, we're getting more into the weather conditions throughout the week. Meteorologist Monica Woods is back with your full forecast.
The power of information, the speed of news. Faster, stronger, more connected. The all-new ABC 10 Information Network. Connected to you. Powered by Xfinity.
All right, here we go. Active fire situation right now near Rio Vista, Highway 12. Reporter on the scene. We're going to go live there in just a moment. First, let's talk weather conditions. We'll let them get their reporting set up there. As far as our winds, here's what's going to be happening. The most dangerous winds actually yet to come. Current wind gusts have been about 30 to 35 miles per hour, but those peak winds happen overnight. That is particularly dangerous, especially as people start to go to sleep. And then we could see a situation like what we just saw in Rio Vista. 65 mile per hour winds, North Bay Hills. Foothills, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds because of this setup. The low pressure system sliding its way south. High pressure system developing just to the north of us. So those north winds that we've been seeing suddenly overnight become offshore winds. Now it is going to start to lighten up as we head through Friday. But again, this all starts to migrate southward into Southern California by the time we get to the end of tomorrow and through Friday. Mostly clear skies for tonight, but here you'll see those winds straight across the board. They will be consistent at about 15 to 20 miles miles per hour, and they are very dry winds. Humidity is only about 8% right now for Fairfield, closer to about 10 to 15% in the valley. As far as temperatures, we're in the 70s. These haven't necessarily been extremely warm winds, but what we found is that we had that low pressure system kind of cool everything down just a couple of degrees. Lots of air quality issues. This is Dustin Fireball from Kevin. We have an air quality alert actually throughout the San Joaquin Valley. You can see blowing dust causing concerns. They want you to stay indoors and avoid outdoor activity. Temperature-wise, in the 50s tonight for this year. Here's the area in the red that will be under that red flag warning through tomorrow. That extends all the way through the foothills. Now, things will start to quiet down. We'll stay pretty consistent with our temperatures through Thursday and Friday. 70s along the coast. We have red flag warnings as we head inland with highs still close to 80 degrees. That's pretty typical for this time of year. But again, everything is just so crisp and dry. No rain since May, at least significant rain. Turning to our 10-day planner, you can see we've got sunny skies here, but again, it's really in the next 24 hours that we're very concerned about those winds, in particular overnight tonight through early tomorrow.
And I know we're watching that very closely, obviously. You said tonight they're really going to be picking up. So some people right now commenting about Auburn. We had a couple of people on our Facebook Live just wondering about the Auburn area too.
Well, all the foothill locations, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, red flag warning in that area, as well as wind advisory. And again, it's going to be strongest overnight tonight through early tomorrow.
And now let's go to some live images here. This is active fire. This is what we've been talking about. The main thing that PG&E was fearing, a fire that has broken out in Rio Vista. That is in Solano County. Our Daniela Pardo is there live. This is video from their camera. They're live on scene. This is why we have been doing wall-to-wall live coverage, because firefighters were concerned about the fire danger, given the high winds and giving the red flag warning that we've been talking about for now 24 hours. And so as we are watching firefighters try and take on this battle with that fire, you see there our crews. Look, this is live TV, folks, so just roll with us. It's on both sides of the road there. You can see he just trying to give you a better look at what fire crews are dealing with here. Our crew is working to bring you the very latest, even as we speak. I know it can, there you go. You see the type of thing that crews are dealing with there on this breaking news scenario.
Very fast moving fire. And again, that was happening near Highway 12 and 113 right now. It is closed. So anyone driving in that area, we want to make sure you're aware of that. That fire is moving quickly. Again, we're going to get more updated information. Daniela, you just saw her talking to a firefighter there. So of course, we'll check back in with her and see what information we can pass along to you.
Meanwhile, we've got more tips on what you can do in these shutoffs. But first, here's what's coming up tonight on World News.
Tonight, a key witness blocked from testifying.
Strong evidence of obstruction.
The White House refusing to cooperate.
This impeachment is a kangaroo court.
But will they have a choice? World News tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
All right, now we want to go right back out to Daniela Pardo, who's live for us in Rio Vista as a fire there, a brush fire has started in Solano County. Daniela, bring us up to speed on what's going on.
Madison, we just got to Bird's Landing Road here in Rio Vista. I don't know if you could see the windmills. That's where, close to where the fire started. It is really smoky right now, so it's hard to see and breathe out here. We just got to the scene, and earlier, when we got here less than 5 minutes ago, there was fire, and now it's just a bunch of smoke that we're dealing with, and certainly the wind. That's a big factor here, and just in the time that we've been here, like I've been saying, 5 minutes, the weather has picked up a lot. It is really, really windy, and this is Bird's Landing Road that's closed right now. This fire is 30% contained. That's what the Montezuma Fire Protection District told me. I was also told that it's approximately 150 acres right now. So we just got to the scene. We're working on getting more information for you, but certainly windy out here from what you can see, Madison.
And Daniela, this is Chris here. I know that you were talking to firefighters there on scene. What message are they giving folks at home?
Say that again, Chris.
The message to folks at home. You were talking to folks there on scene?
Yeah, I mean, they're just saying to stay home if you can because this weather is just picking up so much. It's windy right now. You could see, I don't know if you can see tears falling out of my eyes just to show you how bad it is out here. So definitely stay home if you don't need to be out and avoid this area because there are a lot of road closures. We have which ones on our website, abc10.com.
Okay, Daniela Pardo, stay safe out there, Daniela. We thank you for that live update.
Absolutely. We'll continue to cover this fire for you. All the PG&E power shutoffs coming up at 6 tonight as well.
Thank you for joining us.